Hello, welcome to the studio. Happy Monday, happy March. Man, I cannot believe we're in March already. Can you believe it? Okay, let's put on our Do Not Disturb, get all our housekeeping things together. I think I'm pretty much ready because you know why? I've been preparing all of February for this series. I'm super excited. The Power of Vulnerability in this series this month. So Monday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time every week for the month of March, we will be talking about vulnerability in creativity. So I'm taking my creativity, my art, my all the things that I'm going to talk about, and I've created a deeper relationship through being honest with not the world, but with myself. And as I did that and was reading through my journals and all the things, I was like, you know what? I think I would like to do a series on that. All right, we got our chat up. So when people join, we will know who is here when they say hello. So say hello in the chat. If you're on Team Replay, give me a hello down below so that we can collaborate this month. And if you have any questions about anything, leave them in the comment and we will approach them. Okay, I got so much going on today. I don't think the Do Not Disturb got on. Let me make sure that is on because I do not want to be disturbed. So welcome to the studio, Slapping Paint on Paper studio. I've just decided that that's what we're going to call it because that's what has helped. Hey girl, how are you? Listen, I think our times kind of clash because I think at this time you go live. And so I've been on Team Replay on your side. And then it's good to see your name pop up in the comments. And the other day when you were on your live, I don't think you got, I think it was bad. For one, I was driving. I am in the country, so I don't get good internet anyway. But to answer your question about being a guest on your show, collaborating, I'm all down for it. Let me know. Long as it's after March, because like I said, now it's going to be a different time. Hello, Dawn. Dawn, I love that video you sent me. Oh my God, it just gave me so much pleasure to go out and take another walk. I walked just for you, but it still was pretty though. It still was pretty. So for Team Replay, y'all, let me give the thing for Team Replay. If you are on the replay and you're watching this, yes, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section anything. If you're watching the video, if you give me, because I know the average watch time for my lives is not the people that stay on, but if on Team Replay, it's like 10 to 15 minutes. So I don't know where that 10 to 15 minutes is, that maybe I need to say something to capture more, or maybe the art part isn't your thing. Because I know once I finish with my 5 to 6 minute spiel on FaceTime, I go to do desk time, and that's all about usually art. Because that's how I have gotten the ultimate freedom to be vulnerable, to show up here. I mean, after losing 2 children and to still want to show up and help other people, that's just how it is. So I choose to show up here and let people know how I live authentically, how I live a very transparent life. As my children say, y'all know not to do nothing in front of mom because you know she gonna talk about it and will. And my husband, Deb. Hello, Deb. Deb and I had a great conversation yesterday. Deb, I got you. I'm trying to put the stuff on my phone. I think you're gonna have to just send me that email, your email address, so that I can just send it to your email because I'm having problems pulling it off of one space and trying to send it to you on the phone. So anyways, y'all give Deb, Visions Divine is one of my Soul Wealth sisters, one of my good friends. And we chatted yesterday. We did 2 hours and we didn't even realize we had done 2 hours. Let's just say that. I don't feel like my Do Not Disturb went on because, okay, let's see. There we go. Okay. So this series is going to be delivered weekly, Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? And it's not so much that we're going to be going deep, but we're going to be going deep. I might, if I step on your toe, you don't have to tell me. Just be like, ooh, I need to check that. But the first thing I want you to start out, we're going to start each week, Monday, Wednesday, each day, each live out with an affirmation. And it's going to say, I am enough as I am right now. So what I'm doing with this series is not for you to change everything about you, because I believe that the deep person that's inside, that's the person that you love the most. That's why sometimes you like being alone, because you accept you better than other people accept you. That is why I'm okay with being, well, I get out and I have to be stimulated now, but I learned how to be, how should I say, okay with being alone with myself. And in my grief journey, I had to, figure out, for number one, what did I want? I wanted to renew, reclaim, and rediscover who I was. One, after being an empty nester. Two, after the loss of another child. So I had to figure out what was that for me. And being alone, even though I'm married, being alone, and I mean, really, when I say alone, I mean sitting down with my journal, getting in my thoughts, painting. When I felt like I wasn't good enough because I felt like another child had that. I started out with black paint. So all of those stories, all of that is what we're going to talk about this whole month of March, is how I dug deep, 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 deep inside my heart, my core. And then I told God, listen, I told God at the end of it all, I want to know who I am, right? As a mother without my children, the ones that I've lost. I want to know who I am as a empty nester now that my children are grown and gone. And I want to know who I am now just as that person, life outside of children. I've been a mother since I was 14. So that's all I knew. So now I'm learning how to satisfy me. Okay? So I want you to ask questions. If there's a question that you feel like you want to ask the question. There's no question. Only thing I can say is, well, I can't answer that, or I don't know. I will research it, or maybe we'll get somebody to maybe some guests on here. I haven't had guests on my YouTube channel. I had to be, first of all, decide if it was going to be something that I was going to be vulnerable enough to continue creating. And I've done it for 2 years now, and I've been showing up. And 24, I showed up. Look, I showed up. I showed up a lot. And October, November, and December, I showed up every single day. October, November, December. Those might not be available now, because they're available over on my Patreon. But being vulnerable and creating series, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to have fun while we do it. Okay. I got to keep in mind to make sure that I come over here and read, oh, you could walk in the snow without going out in the cold. Yeah, yeah. So y'all, Dawn is had, what do you got? About 2 feet, 3 feet of snow? She has a lot of snow. She has a lot of snow, a lot of snow. I am happy that you guys have joined me. So let's go over, because y'all know after FaceTime, you know what comes next. Desk time. We're going to have some fun on the desk. And so if you're on the chat, if you're in the live right now and you haven't hit that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up button, because that messes with the algorithm. Let YouTube know that, yeah, there's some people over here, and yes, they're liking the content, because we're going to, not so much as, again, I don't want you to think when you hear the word vulnerability that you're like, oh, Lord, she's going to talk about all the stuff that, we don't want to talk about. I might, for me. But if it's not something that you want to talk about, don't worry about it. Like, if you don't put it in the comments, nobody will know. But if it's something that you do want to dive into and you want to know, well, Karen, how can I do whatever? I don't slap paint on paper. There's a whole nother side to that. We can do that too. We can talk about that too. But first, this is what I did this morning. Not this morning, maybe about 2 hours ago, because I found myself being a little anxious. And when I get anxious, I paint. When I get angry, I don't paint. I slap paint on paper then, and I start out. Anger, it's in a dark place, so it's really ugly. This is something I just needed to calm my nerves. Like, Dawn, you said you doodle, so I came and I did this because for whatever reason, and usually I've learned here lately, I don't have an answer to what it is sometimes. So I don't know if it was because today was Monday and we are going to start the series, and I was a little like, oh my goodness, is anybody going to show up? That kind of thing. I don't know. Don't know. Can't answer. However, so here's the thing. This is what I did. And then we're going to flip this off and we're going to do we're going to come back to this, but we're going to do some reviewing. I feel like this is always crooked. Y'all, I got my box from Japan. Oh, it's about 2 feet now. Ooh, that's still a lot of snow. Y'all, she sent me a video and her car is completely covered. You can't even see what kind of car is over there. You can only reason I know it was a car is because she said her car. Okay, listen, this box just came from Japan. I thought it was going to take maybe 2-3 months. I ordered this on February the 18th. It shipped out, got the label on February the 26th, and it came by FedEx today. Can you say today? I was so happy. Everybody is boycotting Target and all the things. All I said is don't bother with my art stores and I'm fine. That's just it for me, because those are the things that make me happy. Target, I'm not a Target shopper. I've never really been, because Target never put the Target in my zip code, so that made it easy for me. So but anyways, I'm not here to talk about Target. I want the world to be happy, and I feel like everybody should just chase joy. Like, I was just watching Christy Rice over on Instagram, and she's the joy chaser, and that's why I started following her, because I was like, oh, the joy chaser, and I'm the renew your joy. Like, oh my God, we need to just really become best friends. But listen, let me move this water because I don't want to knock my water over. Oh, and I also redid my video for a walkthrough of the studio. I don't like it. And I don't like editing, so I'll probably redo the video. Y'all let me know how this internet is working, because it's the first. I'm using the newer one. If I need to change over, I can. But let me know. Let me know. And say, I love when the noise inside my head translates. Yes, right? See, Dawn, that's what I'm saying. So when you think about what you just said, Dawn, and being vulnerable, you are being very vulnerable, because good evening, Mr. McCoy. You are being very vulnerable because you're taking those thoughts in your head and you're bringing them out. And that's exactly what I do, is whatever is going on. And I'm quite sure Mr. McCoy, now that he's on here, Mr. McCoy Righties is my husband. I thought he was going to pop on his other one. But he'll tell you he likes it when I come in the studio and I don't fuss or scream or say some of the very unpleasant things. But let's open this box. Oh, look at. Oh, some people they like going buying shoes. I used to be that person. They like makeup. They like cars. They like white couches. I just love watercolor. Any kind of watercolor. You just give me good watercolor. I'll be happy to test it out for you. These watercolors came all the way from Japan, so that's why I'm not even sure what I'm going to do within this next hour that we're together. However, if I should happen to open these up and want to paint with them, okay, no problem. Why? Because it's my house and I can do what I want to do. It's my studio and I can do what I want to do and can. Okay, let me not digress too much, but I'm going to open these. I want them to sit here and just look, because I have some other stuff. I don't want to get beside myself. And I was getting ready to get beside myself, because these came FedEx literally 20 minutes ago, and I was so happy. So happy. I'm going to put the video up. I'm going to show y'all the video that I did this morning when I got the notification that they were coming. I recorded myself doing a little happy dance. I was just like, oh my goodness. It's the simple things in life that make me happy. I don't require a lot, especially not now that I have my 10 acres. Now, when I get my 25 acres added to these 10, I'll be even more happy, because we're going to have about 4 or 5 horses. Oh, and then I'll go horseback riding. Oh, my goodness. Dawn, are you proud of me? I did card making last night. I did. Rule and not having great internet. This right here, this is it. And because I'm using a program, I bet you if I just log in on my phone and come through, it wouldn't do that. But let me know how it's doing now. because I can't put the phone. It's not on the phone. It's going through my laptop. So the phone is just the viewer. Okay. Are we still buffering? Are we back? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I did a thing earlier today and it didn't work. I mean, it was working great. I'll be glad when we get our new internet. I'll be glad when we get our new, look, we're going to have fiber. We're supposed to be getting some fiber optics. And yeah, I hope so too. But y'all know the everything in the house goes on, and I try to cut it off so that when I come Mondays and Wednesdays, the first part, especially for March, I want to have great internet. So I don't really use my internet for anything. It's okay right now. Okay, great, 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 great. Okay. So I changed over, which is supposed to be better. Okay, I'm seeing everybody. All right, cool. It looks like everybody is back. Okay. Now, when you ask about vulnerability, and I wanted to know, for me, I want my artwork and me showing up in the world. For me, showing up in the world just happened to come through my art. Okay. So I've kind of over the, let's see, it's going on 6 years. I cannot believe it's going on 6 years. But I've kind of pulled out journals, and I've looked back on the last 3-4 years. Well, we've been here 3 years, so for the last 5 years. And I've put together 7 steps to use art to be more vulnerable in life. And because when I looked at it, I had my raw emotions, my hidden fears, and y'all know I had deep thoughts, and even some very unpleasant conversations with God. Because I had to be honest. I could not continue to walk around here and act like I wasn't mad at God. And I think the first time when my grandma, oh, that's where my cards are. I was trying to find where they were. Dawn, I'm going to take my birthday cards and I'm going to do what you showed on your thing, your live on Saturday, and make me my birthday cards, and I'm going to make a book out of them. I thought that was a great idea. But these are the cards that I made last night. So the paintings, the prints, I did, I think Thursday, Friday, and they were so pretty to me. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to take them and stick them in something. And I was like, no, well, make a card. And this is after I saw your video, I saw your live on Saturday. I was like, oh my goodness, those cards are pretty. Y'all know I'm not a card maker, right? Here's the thing. I'm not a card maker, but I don't have a problem trying out new things. And so, because Gina K got me thinking, she had me thinking when I was in Colorado, that I bought all the things, thinking I can do all the things, making all them little flip cards. And I was just like, OMG. But I'm not even a Tracy, but I'm Karen. And I take my artwork and make my own cards. So now I love the fact that I take my artwork, and these are cards that I made. And Dawn inspired because, like I said, looking at some of the things that she had shared on her live on, I think that was Saturday, I thought that was a great idea. Yes, I think that is an awesome idea. So I decided after you said that, and then sending cards. So I want to be part of the, getting cards, sending cards, so that I can do the same thing, because I do that with my artwork, like this book that I created. And like this is the same concept that I was like, oh my goodness. So if I'd have got these cards, if these would have been cards, but these are my artwork. So I was thinking about this book, and it helped me practice on my stitching. So when I'm doing these things, guys, these are the things that help me to ask myself the question, well, Karen, where do you need to be more vulnerable? And most of the time here in 2024, it was relationships. It was friendships. It was, I wanted to be a better person, not so much for someone else, but I wanted to be a better person for myself. But look at that. It has stuff around, what do we call it? It's the Nuevo drops that I put around it. It kind of blended in. I should have did another color. But again, don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. I did it. That's the kind of conversation that I have to have with myself, self-talk, because the people that I'm going to send these to, they're going, and then they're also going to get, I'm going to put handmade by, because everything on here is handmade, even the picture I painted. These are my flowers, and it gave me joy to create these. So those are what I wanted to. That was my surprise I had to share, Dawn, how you inspired me to make those. And hold on, I'm not done with them, because I have a lot of images that I wanted to not throw away or not just put in a box. These flowers, I had to have a conversation with myself, right? And remember, I told you guys, when you're being vulnerable, the first person you need to be vulnerable with is yourself, right? Create something. Like, if art isn't your thing, no worries. Let's say bowling. Oh, Deb likes to do makeup. So make a mess as you're talking, and you want to be like, you don't want to be you don't want to filter what you're saying, especially when it's yourself, when you're by yourself, yo. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being vulnerable with yourself. I'm not talking about being vulnerable in relationships. I'm not talking about being vulnerable in friendships. First of all, you got to be vulnerable with yourself. You got to tell yourself, self, I don't like you today. You got to be vulnerable enough. Some people won't tell themselves that they don't like themselves. Some people won't do that, right? When you can tell yourself, hey, you need to get it together, girl, or you need to just ask yourself a question that maybe needs a good answer, right? And then you got to remind yourself, this is not about being perfect, and nobody else will know these things unless you tell them. Now, here I am doing a series on vulnerability. So I'm telling y'all everything that I'm giving y'all these steps to do, I've done. So I've had these nasty conversations with myself. And like I said, after my son died, I wasn't someone that was, after my daughter died, I put on the mask. I put on my good Christian girl panties, and I went on out there in the world and act like the Lord was my everything when I wasn't feeling like he was my everything. I felt like the Lord had left me. I felt like the Lord had taken from me. And I felt like all those things that they say, or that the Bible says, I didn't feel any of that, right? So I had to tell myself first all of those things. Well, I didn't tell myself until like 3 years after my daughter had passed away. And then one day I just went up and just like, you know what, God, I don't care. I don't want to serve you. I don't want to talk to your people. You died for them, not me. You sent your son to die for them, not me. And once I did that, it's like the floodgates opened, and I felt so much better. So that's why I'm saying, be vulnerable with yourself first. Don't worry about other people. Be vulnerable with yourself first. Now, as I'm flipping through these, again, it's my artwork. Whatever your thing is, and I know what I'm talking, Dawn has her thing, but if you're on here, what is something that you like to do? It might not be painting. It might not be slapping paint on paper. Or if it is something that you want to do, great, wonderful. These are mixed media cards. I took these as a stamp. This is a stamp that I stuck on here on top of my flowers. And I stamped, this is another actual cling stamp that I just stamped out from a stamp set that I have, and I just stuck it on there. Now you open it up, write a little note, and I'm going to send it off. Somebody will be a lucky recipient of all these cards. I didn't make them for me. I made them because I want them to go to mailboxes and make somebody smile, right? So this is what it was. I was just like, man, these are pretty. So I had to slap myself on the back. Now, do I do that all the time and say, oh, this is good? No. No, I do not feel that I'm a card maker. What I do feel like is pretty of these cards is my artwork. But the cards, as I did this one, I was mad because when I bent the paper, I pricked it out. I really pricked out all the stuff that was wrong. And I'm not going to even point it out because you guys probably don't even see half of it. Y'all know we were our worst critic. This one, I was thinking about sending it to somebody, putting a gift card in the little pocket right there and flipping it back over. And then they got my artwork on there. And then we love bees. Oh, yeah. See, Dawn said, look at that bee. Yep. So, and then over here, you write out a sentiment. I'm going to write out a sentiment. and then move on. So this one's probably, it doesn't even have to be a birthday card or some kind of whatever. It's just me putting some kind of gift card in there, closing it back up, putting it in an envelope, sending it to someone, and them being me sharing with them some joy that day. So that's what's going to happen with these. This one was the first one I kind of did. I just couldn't get the, I'm not a fan, but it's okay. It's okay. But let go of the need for your art to be good. Let go of the need for whatever you choose to do in your life. Let go of the need for the word good. Somebody will love this, even though I don't consider it to be all of that, right? So vulnerability in art isn't about making something beautiful all the time, right? It's about making something honest, right? And when you remove the pressure to be good, you really, really, really free yourself to be what? Real. Bernadette, happy Monday. I was wondering where you were. But that's the thing that I love. And by the way, that was number one. Let go of the need for something good and great and all of that. So let go of the need for perfection. You can put it on however you need to put it. But these are great. Bernadette got a special birthday card that I made last year. Now, I was very pleased with Bernadette's birthday card. Very, very pleased. But I have found that my art, these are some that I kind of didn't make the cards, but I like them, right? But I put art. I say art, but you can say whatever it is that your thing is, right? I can't say. So if you want to put in the comment what your thing is, what you need to let go of the need for, like I need to let go of the need for good art. Like I didn't even consider this to be great and grand. But it did what it was supposed to do for me. It let me really hone in on how I was feeling and my anxieties and whatever. It went into slapping paint on this paper. So when you're trying to be vulnerable with yourself, just really, 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 really be real with yourself and create from the heart. Now, again, if you just happen to be scrolling through here and art isn't your thing, most of the stuff that I do is slapping paint on paper, getting new art supplies, and what else? Oh, we make junk journals. Whatever it is, it's a creative space that allows me to be real first with who? Me, right? And I like to create messy things. And as I'm creating messy things, I like to be raw. I like to be unfiltered. I like to splatter paint, and I like to write in my journal, and I like to be really, really real. And the person most of the time that I'm trying to be real with is God, because most of the time I feel like I have to. Hi, Mary. What is that? Mary's Crafty Creations. Oh, I like that name, Crafty Creations. But most of the time, the person that I'm usually trying to soothe and satisfy is myself, because God just be like, all right, girl, whatever. Whatever. You better get that paint, slap some on some paper, and feel better real soon, okay? And usually when I get that kind of vibe about it, I'll just be like, oh, God must want me to let that go, right? So that's number one. Let go of the need for whatever you feel like your need for is, whatever that is, right? Okay. And number two, the second step that I'm let me see. Am I going to give them? Let me see. I kind of wrote them down, but any way that these work for you. Choose an emotion to explore is number two. Choose an emotion to explore. And you know, if you've been following me here on the channel, y'all know I can get emotional. We had my birthday. My dog had surgery. I was very emotional. That week was really rough. But Lily Rose is doing a whole lot better now. She was in the studio. She went outside because she ate the other dog food. And of course, it gave her gas. And I told her she had to get out. She had to get out. Because I was not finna be sitting here smelling her poops. Okay? So choose an emotion to explore. What does that mean? Start by identifying what you're truly, truly feeling, right? For me, most of the time when I'm creating, I need to decide, Karen, is it the grief? Are you upset because of, like, you're thinking about Joshua or Tanika? Like, is it your marriage? Is it the dogs? Is it the children? Like, I have to go down that rabbit hole to really decide, oh, wait, it's grief. Or, I don't know. And some days, y'all, I really don't know. I go for a walk and I walk about 2 miles and I pray as I'm walking and I ask the Lord, please open up my mind so that I can get rid of whatever it is. And usually I don't want to get rid of it. I want to explore it. I want to find out how can I not go so deep into that thought process that I don't even know what it is. And I don't want to always throw grief. I don't want to throw the blanket of grief just because that could be easy, right? Why throw grief if I'm not grieving my son and my daughter? Why use that as my outlet? It's not always the case. So sometimes it could be joy. Like I could be so joy, have so much joy. Aren't these eggs cute? These were my Daniel Smith watercolors. I could have so much joy till I have so much anxiety because I be like, okay, this is too much. This feels too good. And you're waiting on the shoe to drop. I think Deb and I was kind of talking about this yesterday. But you know, when you're so used to living in a chaotic life, chaos is your life. And then when you have and like there's no noise and it's quiet and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop, right? So even you have to explore that emotion of joy, fear. What are you afraid of? Like I have this whole series. I'm like, are people gonna watch? Are people gonna say anything? Are people gonna be engaging? And then God says, that's not your business. You do what I told you to do, and I'll take care of all the people and all the things. Okay, God, got it, right? So choose an emotion to explore. Right now, I think I did this one on the live, and I came back to this sucker because the first when I did it, I was just like, ugh, that just these flowers don't look good. Oh no, I take it back. I taught this in my Patreon, and I was letting them know to let go and don't worry about how it is and all the things that I said. But when I look back at it, I think that night I wasn't happy. It looks totally different. Let me be clear. And so what I see again, what I'm telling you guys is stuff that I do in my own life. And so this is why I want you just to really, really, really don't worry about it. Just take these tips or these steps and just start walking it out. Because at the end of the day, whatever the emotion is, if you do not need it, then just let it go, right? Don't hold on to things that will not. Okay, so but anyway, I came back to this and I put it in the pile because I was like, oh, that's cute. So this goes back to the first one was don't worry about being a perfectionist. Don't worry about showing up. Like these, I could go so deep into this, but I won't right now. But it's cute. That's my point. Practice, practice, practice. I practice what I preach. My art, I'm always slapping paint on paper. I'm always trying to learn something new. Art, slapping paint on paper includes watercolor, acrylic, which is more going to be a mixed media, junk journaling, and making junk journals. Those are my things. And those usually bring me joy. Those are places that I let the emotion guide me. And usually I'm going to again, be vulnerable with myself, be transparent with myself, and be like, girl, I don't like that. And then I'll tell myself, and we'll keep moving and we'll hang on to them. All of these are things that I didn't like when I first did it. And I stopped comparing myself to other watercolorists, right? God created me to be me. And so, therefore, I cannot be worried about what other people do. I think what separates me from other watercolorists is I have a different take on life because I've been through some things. And slapping paint on paper is the way that I release and gain the joy that God wants me to have, and then to share with other people who needs to know that you can make it through the day. Not because I'm making it, but because you can make it through the day. All right, I saw a comment. I need to make my chat box bigger. Y'all know I ain't got my glasses on. I'm just learning watercolor, and I love watching people that are good at it. Watercolor is my favorite medium. So, Mary, you said you like watching people that are good at it. That sounds like me because I would, let me see, Emma LaFave, Christy Rice, what's the other one? There's another. Oh, Shada Campbell. I love Shada Campbell. And there's another one. I can't think of her name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Jana Rainey. I watch them because I feel like they are amazing. Like they are just amazing. And then when one of them had commented on my post and said that my watercolors were beautiful, you'd have thought that a superstar had commented on. Like it just really, really, really made me feel good. And so now I don't compare. I understand that I want a certain look with my watercolors. Like you can look at this one and this one. This one I just slapped down. Just slapped it down. This one I took my time because this my roses. Y'all know my roses. I'm perfecting my roses. But this one I just really slapped it down. But I love this one. Like I just did this today. So tomorrow this one's going to be even more powerful because the granulation is going to really be done set into the paper and all that stuff. But I get it. I just don't compare anymore. But I was vulnerable enough to say there was a time when I did. I know, Dawn, I love watching you do everything. Yes, Dawn is amazing. Dawn inspired me to look. I have a collection of cards. That's Dawn. Like I'm just like, man, yeah. So love it, love it. All right, so this one I was gonna put in the shop, and then for whatever reason, my pen fell on it. Totally fell on it. So, um, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll do something with it. Then this one. Okay, so these that's coming up. I was in a little funk. Y'all know I told you this is all about being vulnerable. And I'm going to start with self first. So, y'all know when I'm in a funk and when I'm not feeling my best for whatever reason. These were last week when, it was my birthday time, well, week before last. Again, I was worried about Lily Rose. So that's when these came up. And even this one, not the eggs or the swatching, but the flowers. So I didn't want to waste the paper. So I just swatched around it. But yeah, Lily Rose being sick really set me somewhere. This one, when I first did it, couldn't stand it. Thought it was the ugliest thing because these right here just was sitting up there and they didn't look good, right? Thank you, Mary. I was gonna say we celebrate the whole month, but February is gone, so yeah. But every day is a birthday. Every day above ground is a birthday. So thank you. Sap green, I didn't like it, but my whole point was leave it, don't throw it away, because y'all know I used to throw stuff away if it was really ugly and I didn't like it. So the very first, I probably say my first watercolors, I don't have a couple of them because that's how hideous I thought they were. But now that I'm learning how to repurpose my art, right? I wish I had those. Like Christy Rice showed, like she showed on one of her videos on YouTube how to take something that you despise and turn it into something beautiful. And if I had those like now, and that's been like 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. 5 years, yeah, 5 years ago. It was during COVID. I came into all of the coming out of reigniting my watercolor palette of my life in COVID. I try not to compare. We all have our strengths and learning new skills. It's always that's the part. So Mary, that's the part. What you said right there. That's the part that I love. I love that right there. So when I see somebody new, as a matter of fact, I can share somebody new for me today. This is hideous. I can't stand it, but I didn't throw it away, right? I'm going to do something great with it because I was learning how to layer on top of, so wet on dry. But this one got away from me, and as a matter of fact, I went from this one to this one, and then from these two to this one. Now there you go. This is why I say don't strive for perfection the first time you do something, right? That's the first one. If I would have given up, I wouldn't have did the second one, and I definitely wouldn't have fell in love with the third one. So as you can see, these two, this is what I was trying to do over here, and I did it over here, and I was just like, oh girl, that you got that, right? So choose to stick with it. Okay. Now, And also acknowledging that it sucks sometimes, right? That's just the whole brunt of it, I guess we can call it. I don't know. Um, but I like this one. She turned out cute. Look at this. The granulation meant for it to be that way. And people that do landscaping, they love it. But when you're doing flowers like me, I'm a floral girl. I like florals. I didn't like all that. But now I'm embracing it because when it dries and you look at it 2, 3 days later, it looks amazing. Like I couldn't have drawn that. I couldn't have made that. I couldn't have done it, first of all, intentionally. But now that I know to just slap the paint on the paper and leave it alone, let it go. Okay, number 3, we're going to talk about using your art as a form of journaling. Now, y'all know I take my books and I turn them into journals. I forgot I had to press them down, so I had put them under what I call my book press. That's what I call my book press. Let's see. Okay. We're going to open. So, using art as a form of journaling. Now, if art isn't your thing, remember, everything that I share and I give you, if it's not your thing, whatever your thing is, do some form of it. Okay, so we're going to just put this on top of here. These are 3 books that I made, and I use basically art as they're going to be my journals. But these are handmade books, all 3 of these, and they're made from my prints. These prints are going to eventually, the ones that don't go in my, it's only, I think, a couple that's in here that will go into my shop. Now, check these 2 yummies out. These are yummy. So the back, I just took the pads off of my watercolor pads that I'm done with. And for this one, I slapped acrylic paint and put a stencil on top of it because I was looking at Sean Petty, I think it is. She's a mixed media artist on YouTube and does Wanderlust, all things. And Sunday is her thing. And so I kind of did something that she had did. But yeah, here's it's a book. It's just I got some pages in here. I don't like doing on the back. I don't like putting watercolor on the back of when I've used the front cover, and I'm talking of inexpensive paper. Sometimes when you get expensive paper, you can use the back. But on the back of this, I'll probably do like some mixed media, like maybe put something like that on there. Do something, I don't know. But yeah, so I turned them into, they turned out cute. So we did it. And most of these, again, are times, this was learning something new. I can tell the way the paint slapped down. I like it. I'm not in love with it, but I like it. This was a bad day. Now I'm going to make a journal. I love watching Dawn and Betty Penny make them, so I want to try. Oh, Mary, yes, please try. Please. You're breaking up. Okay. I mean, country internet. That's all. I can't say anything else about it. I hope it's not breaking up too bad. I hope it's like I'll slow down maybe. If anybody else is getting it, let me know. I'll just I don't have another, but anytime you see dark in my paintings, that's usually a bad day. That's usually a bad moment. Not a bad day, because by the time I get in the studio, I am going to feel better after I slap paint on paper, right? So this is how I use my art and make it into a journal, and then, go back and visit it later. So practice anything I've practiced to put them in here. Like I said, all this was practice roses. I love it, right? Love it. Beautiful. That's why I can't wait to get into them granulations, y'all. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna open them all the way up. Just stay to the end. You're hearing enough to follow. Okay, you're hearing enough to follow along. Okay, great. I just know it could be very discouraging if it's not clear. And I can see the thing went down. It's like bars, but I don't know. Okay. I tell you what, this is what I'm going to do for, I'm going to try, this is what I'm going to try something without using, because the reason I use my eCam is because when I go from desktime to FaceTime, it's so smooth. So I'm going to try to see if I don't use the eCam, if it uses less. We'll try that. I'll try that when I do those. That's what I do. I'll do a separate one. Oh, yes. So these are, again, pretty. And I didn't like this one. I put gesso on top of it. But I kept it, put gesso on that one. Yeah, so this book I did, these flowers I showed in my Patreon. How to, and there are two books. And this one, I put fabric on it. So it's made out of fabric, front and back, and it's a little fancier. But the center, and again, I stitched it, Coptic stitched this one. And it's all my artwork that's in here. And I love this one. This one has some pretty stuff in here. I've already done some, came back and done some on the back page. You can see that got done. Oh, this is done with ink. These are Ferris Press inks. They don't go in my pen. They don't do good in my pen, so I slap them on some paper. Isn't this cute? Now this is me. This is Shada Campbell. So when you think of Shada Campbell, she does stuff like this. So, child, listen, and I'm in her Patreon. My thing compared to hers, no comparison. But I gave myself a that a girl because I did it. Like, I don't know, this is not my norm, is to sketch stuff out first and then paint it. I just slap the paint on the paper, and however it usually goes, my muscle memory is how it goes. But I was pretty impressed with these. So let me go back. Yes, really, yes. So these worked out. These worked out good. Now, will I go back? I'm going to do it again because y'all want to know what? You want to know what? This is my thing. I like to create, because number 4 is create without planning. Don't overthink it. Don't just slap. That's how I came up with slapping paint on paper. Is just slap the paint on the paper. And then once you get some images on there, then move the water around, add some more pigment, have fun with it. Don't overthink it, right? So to do this, to really do this, I have to think about it. And so I will be doing this in times when I don't need my art as an escape, right? So these right here it's going to be, this is my next challenge to myself, is to not do it like Shada does it, but more so make this fill up a little bit more. Like it was full. It needs to be a little fuller. And I know that I can do it. And so I'm excited about it. So it's the one thing when I go to pick up my paints and whatever, I'll be doing something similar, maybe, or maybe not. But I won't be overthinking it, right? And I won't be trying to, I won't be trying to be like, looking at the videos, rewind it so that I can try to, get exactly what she's trying to do. It's like, okay, I want to do florals in a vase, or I want to do florals, sketch them out and do them maybe. That's what I want. Not so much as to mimic what she does, but I do like her form, but I do like my form of being free, like no plan, like not even letting my subconscious even think that we finna plan out something. I like for it to be free, right? But I thought this was a good challenge for me, and it'll be there, and I'll do it. Leaves. Oh, this one was pretty. I don't know why I didn't put this one as a center. You can see that side and kind of the other side. That turned out pretty. But yeah, so that's all of that. This is a mixed media. This is acrylic and watercolor. That one was pretty. But yeah, so you get the gist. My granddaughter's art made it into here too. So you get the gist of what I want you to do. For the artists, the art people, make your with your art. Use your art. Aren't these pretty? These are bomb. I like these. Right? There you go. And then so here's the other thing I want you to do. So right here, let's go back to the one that I'm going to be practicing. Where is it? Where is it? Forward. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. 10 minutes to create without stopping, without judging, without editing. Hi, buddy. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. Either every day or whatever. Whenever I want to do this, I'm going to give myself just 10 minutes. Why? Because I want to take the time. If I do this longer than 10 minutes, it's going to frustrate me, and then I'm not going to have joy doing it. And remember, you have to be vulnerable with yourself to know how often you get blocked by the overthinking of things, right? That's a thing, because we can overthink it. Like I would overthink how this was supposed to come out. But if I give myself 10 minutes without stopping, without judging, or without editing, then I can come back and be like, oh, okay. And then the next time I can compare it to the first time. Now, this is the first time, right? So vulnerability often gets blocked by overthinking, but don't overthink it, Let your hands move freely. So 10 minutes of whatever your thing. Like Mary, you were talking about making the book, making a junk journal book. That might require a little bit more than 10 minutes. Maybe not. Because 10 minutes to get it together. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 parts to making this book. And you can do it in 10-minute increments, because it takes me about 45 minutes to do a book from beginning to end. Especially a junk journal that's going to be for me. Now, if I'm making junk journals to put in my shop to sell, it's going to take me a little longer, because I want to be a little more precise. I want to make sure everything lines up. So that's a little bit different. But for something like this, maybe 45 minutes. The stitching is what takes the longest, right? So there you go. Something like this, I think it probably took me, I think this one took longer. Why? Because I wanted my ends to look like the middle. And I had to remember to stop and go from the outside in and not yeah. Okay, so those are my 3 junk journals I have that I love. Buddy, you are just in time. Just in time. I have something on my desk that you sent to the house. I have 2 things on my desk that Buddy sent me for my birthday. But okay, so we're gonna go those. I'm being very vulnerable by showing y'all these, because I think they are ugly, like ugly. But we're going to keep them. We're going to hold on to them. We're not going to stress over them. They are great. We're not going to put too much pressure on ourselves. I'm going to fill this page with shapes and colors. And I'm even going to put some words to reflect how I was feeling when I did this. That's what we're going to do. So we're not going to worry about it. And then it'll be pretty. Even like this one. This one turned out. I love the way that blue came out. Again, this one's going to be one that I'm going to fill the page with shapes, colors, and words to reflect how I was feeling, because right now I'm not happy with the way it looks, but I'm not going to throw it away. And the next thing you know, it'll be a whole nother book. These are pretty. I could have did more with it, but I didn't. Again, this is what I'm saying. Don't overthink your work. Just have fun with it. Ooh, now this one, I did this one. I want to say I did this one in my Patreon. I think I did this one in my Patreon. But I think there's so many recordings that they're running together. February is running together. But I did a what do you call it? Thing over here. Oh my goodness. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A ledger, so that you'll know what colors I used on. These are all Daniel Smith, and these are my favorite purples, my quinacridone purple, my violets, my amethyst, my sap green, and my burnt sienna. Y'all know I love sienna so much, I named my dog Sienna. Her name is Sienna Grace. And so this is what I did with that. That turned out great. This is one of the times where when I finished with a lot of the other stuff that was just not working out for me, I stopped and I had to, the very, very beginning. Y'all got to remember, I said, you are awesome just the way you are right now. Like it doesn't matter. Like you do not have to worry about trying to change who you are. You're perfect right now. And if I keep going down doing something that doesn't make me happy, then I'll start questioning my art. Okay. Stuff like this makes me feel good. Stuff like this. See, when you just slap it down and then you go back, look at that. And then you'd be like, oh, that's so pretty. That is so pretty. So let's see. Right now with you guys, I'm being very vulnerable and I am sharing my work, even though it feels scary, right? Inside, the people pleaser in me is like, ugh, I want to show good stuff. I want to show the real good stuff, you know? I want them to follow me. I want them to subscribe to my channel so they can see the good stuff because I'm a good artist, right? I'm sharing the stuff that I don't think that is great. Well, these are. Some of them are. So I'm showing good and bad. But that's because I want you to learn how to be vulnerable with yourself, right? All right, there we go. And we started with that. Now, you see how easy we have a book. This will become a book. And this will become a book just like these. Like everything in here became a book. And then I'll get to look back. But let me tell you what these books really, 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 really provide for me. They provide a place for me to go back and see how I'm progressing in my work, how I'm progressing in my life, how I'm progressing in being vulnerable with my art. Because it took me before I even said I was an artist. So don't be scared. Just do it. Vulnerability isn't just in creating. It's also sharing, opening up about your art and or whatever it is about. You know what I'm saying? It's a deeper connection, right? And then for me, it just happened to be healing, right? So all of this right here is what I wanted to share with you so that I can really show you, not only telling you what to do or how to do it, I'm also sharing what I've done, right? So, and number 6, reflect on what your art has told you. Like that's kind of what I just said in here, all of that. And then just keep creating, right? Keep creating, even if it feels hard. I just told y'all how hard it is for me to do some things. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep showing up. Vulnerability in art, it's a journey. It's not a one-time act, right? My vulnerability in my grief journey. My daughter has been gone 18 years and my son it'll be 6 years. And I still have to heal, grow, and connect with the true self, me. So I'm vulnerable with me first. And then I come and share so that I can show you guys how to be vulnerable too. Y'all, look what Buddy sent me in the mail. Look it. For my mixed media people, we're having fun with this. I'm going to slap some watercolor in here. I'm going to see how the watercolor is going to hold up to it. And so I'm going to combine the journal, my Dina Wakley journal, because y'all know I love me some Dina. My new Holbein Granulated watercolors. Yes, excited about those. And is. We're going to do a whole nother video. We're not going to get into that right now. So, but my final thought, art is my mirror. Like when I look at things like this, it makes my soul happy, right? When I allow myself to create, my vulnerability opens up. It really opens up the door for me to heal, to have self-acceptance for myself, to have a deeper connection with myself. And it helps me to not stay stuck in a funky day. Right? That's just it, right? So that is, Dawn, you know I'm going to have fun with that. All right, let's go. Let's move. Hey, guys. FaceTime. Oh, my God, that was so much fun. Not that I want to get off of here with you guys, but I really, really, really want to dive into this. And I'm not going to make this longer because this is all about vulnerability. We're talking about vulnerability in this series. Now, will I pop back on here live and you maybe swatch these out? Maybe not. I'm not sure. Who's to say? But if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified if I do. Because if you're just notified to this series, you'll be notified on Mondays and Wednesdays for the series, right? Country internet. Y'all know how it goes. So I am not going to drag on with my internet, and I'll probably just come on. Oh, yes, you know what? I am going to pop back on. It's froze. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to go in and get off of here, and hopefully it will, listen, hopefully the replay will be just great. But hopefully, country internet, it just sucks, right? It sucks. Being vulnerable and creating, it just sucks. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Keep creating, keep having fun, and I might pop back on here on my phone without all of this. Thank you guys for sharing in the comments. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it, because without you, I'll be just talking to myself. Although y'all know I will talk to myself. Okay, I'm going to get off of here so this country internet can just kind of relax or do whatever. And I'm probably going to pop back on and do just my phone without other things. So you'll just get the desk view. If you do, join me. If not, then you'll catch the replay. Okay, Team Replay, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Again, love you guys. See you Wednesday.